I want to apologize to my producers because it's my fault because I wasn't going to have Big Ben. I didn't mean to have Big Ben in my list as my top 5, to be quite honest with you. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I mentioned them, but the bottom line is I gave the wrong list, so I want to apologize to my producers. That's not their fault. That's my fault. That's the list that I gave them. I definitely have at number 5, I'm thinking along the lines of Phillip Rivers. There's no question. I'm going to go there. I'm going to put Andrew Luck at number 4. I don't have Aaron Rodgers in my top 5, even though I know he's the best to ever play the position as far as I'm concerned. I'm just talking about the things that the Green Bay Packers have done to take the ball away from him. There are too many things that we haven't seen. He's been completing around 60% of his passes over the last several weeks because guys running wrong routes, dropping passes, along with a bevy of other things. But I can't put him in there numbers-wise. I can't put him in there based on the kind of year the other guys I have thus far. I'm going to sit up there Rivers as number 5. I'm going to put Andrew Luck at number 4. And then 2, 3, and 1 are obvious with Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, and then Drew Brees at number 1. I think Jared Goff has been sensational. The ball placement, particularly on difficult throws that require you to place the ball exactly where it needs to be. Jared Goff doesn't get enough credit with what he's done, and he showed me something by doing what he did last week without Cooper Kupp available to him. Patrick Mahomes speaks for himself. I do think he holds the ball on more than a few occasions a little bit too long. I think that assisted some difficulties along with him getting sacked as well, and I think that's why he went from having 1 interception on the year at the beginning to having 10 on the season thus far. And Drew Brees, he threw his 2nd interception of the entire season last night, but he does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants, because he's simply a savant at the quarterback position at this point in time in his career. So I'm going to go Brees 1, Mahomes 2, Goff 3, Luck 4, and obviously Phillip 5. Phillip Rivers 5.
Hold up. No love for Tom Brady? We're just dismissing.
We're taking a snapshot? Tom Brady's not in the top 10.
We're just dismissing Tom Brady, who hasn't had Gronkowski a lot, who didn't have his weapons.
Have you been watching the last couple weeks?
Yeah,
he's not been an elite quarterback in the last 3 weeks.
No, yeah,
it's fluid. The list is fluid.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Brady's going to be in my list. He's going to be in my list. I'll tell you what, my list would be like this. Brees, Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers, Goff. And let me tell you why, all right? Drew Brees has been playing at the very top levels of his game for a long time. Like I said, there's reasons why he's getting the credit now that he didn't get before. And quite honestly, I think that's a travesty because the guy should have been considered one of the best for a long time. Look, I understand how Tom looked against the Tennessee Titans. I understand that he looked like someone who somebody had his number, and you're right, Mike Vrabel did have his number. And if we want to take a snap, if you want to look at 1 week, 2 weeks, or look at 16 weeks when this is all said and done, Tom's going to be in there in that top 3.
16 right now, Lewis.
Okay, well, I can't look at it. I can't look at it that myopically. I can't do that. All right, Pat Mahomes, you know how I feel about Pat. And I'm telling you this, down there, the people in Kansas City, they are not discouraged in any way, shape, or form by what happened out there in L.A. at all. As a matter of fact, they're even more encouraged because they were waiting for this. They were waiting for this bump in the road to now see how he's going to respond, and they think he is going to come out just absolutely on fire. Aaron Rodgers right now, who I have at number 4, I think, you know what? It's funny how I'm going to mention Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott at the same time. Aaron Rodgers is being limited, some, by a very static, boring offense that hasn't really embrace some of the new ways to spread people out and give your quarterback an even easier time at dissecting defenses right now. They haven't done it. Also, I think Aaron sometimes makes things a little bit more difficult on himself than needs to be because he misses wide open people simply because I think Aaron is just so, like, right now he's so programmed to make everything look so dynamic and so dramatic that he doesn't take the easy things, although I still think in a snapshot, he's still one of the very best in the NFL.
Kobe Bryant of the NFL.
Absolutely. That was a great analogy. And Jared Goff, I just laugh. I laugh only because of this. Jared Goff, a couple years ago, I'm telling you, the absolute negativity surrounding this kid from the time he put his face on the camera for HBO's Hard Knocks series to those 7 starts that he made in his rookie season, people destroyed this guy. Said he had no business not only being the number 1 pick overall in the draft, but he had no business playing quarterback, period, that he didn't belong in the NFL. And now we're talking about Jared Goff as a top 5 player, maybe a top 3 player. People said he didn't have arm strength to throw the deep ball, which was absurd if you watch this Cal tape.
Beautiful ball.
Exactly. People said that he didn't have the mental aptitude to digest a whole lot of information and a lot of volume. Do you know how much responsibility Sean gives him out there? He has plenty of control at the line of scrimmage. People said he was too skinny. He didn't have the body type. He wouldn't last. Jared Goff, Jared Goff, I made the comparison between Jared Goff and Joe Montana during the draft. That's who he looks like to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Lewis Riddick.
I'm listening.
You're overreaction. You're overreacting. You're being a bit emotional. I need you to calm down.
Oh, I'm emotional about this subject.
And here's why I need you to calm down.
You know why?
People might have been saying that, but they were really talking about Jeff Fisher. You know that. Everybody knew that Jeff Fisher needed to go. And the fact of the matter is Jared Goff has looked so good, whether it's Jared Goff or Sean McVay. Jeff Fisher will never get another head coaching job. I mean, this is the most damning thing that ever happened to Jeff Fisher was Jared Goff under Sean McVay. Because I'm talking about the same talent. 1 year later, with pretty much nothing but a different coach, he looked like a completely different quarterback. And everybody was like, we were looking at Jeff Fisher for the longest time. Max even is, I witnessed all this. Who talked about Jeff Fisher religiously? I mean, the only person I talked about more than Jeff Fisher was Marvin Lewis. I mean, that's how bad it was.
And Marvin Lewis doesn't deserve that.
Jeff Fisher, 22 years as a head coach. Jeff Fisher, 22 years as a coach. 16 years, you missed the playoffs, and people were talking about this man like he deserved to be a head coach in the perpetuity. That was utterly ridiculous, and that was what they were talking about with Jared Goff. The jury was still out on Jared Goff because we needed to see him with another coach because we knew Fisher wasn't it.
Hey, real quick, Phillip Rivers, I love him all year. I've been touting him. Bad mental error to lose that game. Like, it makes you think the Chargers are snake bit, and maybe it's not just snake bit. Maybe the quarterback needs to be better in those situations.
The numbers are there.
And I'll say this, you cannot sleep on luck. Louis Riddick, what this man has done recently on that team.
I'm with you.